You get completely naked and run around the school at midnight. A lot of people vape. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is a boarding school Q&A, and I'm doing this because the second video with the most views on my channel is my boarding school week in my life. It's like 2 years old now, but it's still, people keep commenting on it and asking questions. So I thought it'd be a really great idea to take those questions and actually make a full video just dedicated to answering questions about boarding school, because I know I had so many questions when I first applied to school and when I found out I was going to be going and stuff. And I actually had already filmed this video with my friend Olivia, but the mic didn't work because she went to boarding school with me as well. So yeah, you guys only get me now, but I hope that's okay. So I'm just gonna do one quick disclaimer before I get started, and that is that I am not gonna say what school I've been to. If you know, great, just don't say anything. Just because I don't want to give them bad press, and I don't want anything that I say to be that's their values and stuff. I'm so grateful for the education I had at the school that I went to, and everyone there I'm still close with, and the community there is amazing, the teachers. I don't want any of my stories or anything that I say to kind of shed bad light on them, because they're just a boarding school like any other school. I don't want it to be oh, bad rep on my school, because my school is amazing, the teachers are amazing, they're super responsible. This is just stuff that sometimes happens at any school you go to, and it's also, I think this is a good video to kind of put into perspective the reality behind boarding school. It's not this crazy place for a bunch of bad kids. It's also not nothing ever happened. So I think having a more realistic view will allow you to enter that environment more informed. I'm not going to go in any order, I'm just going to pick out questions. So number one, is it hard to be away from family? So did you get homesick? To be honest, no. I think I got homesick once in 10th grade, where it was oh my gosh, I miss home. You have moments here and there where you're I miss this about home, but usually it's not that big of a deal. It was so exciting for me to be somewhere new that I didn't ever have that I want to go back. How often are parties thrown in the dorms? Honestly, I never went to a dorm party. It's not like university where you have a rager in your dorm just because there's teachers and there's heads of house. Usually when you want to party, you do it over the weekend at a friend's house, or if you ask for permission to go to town or anything like that. How often are you allowed to leave campus? So we could leave campus pretty much whenever, for day leave, so you could go to town and get groceries or go to the movies and stuff like that. You can technically do that always, as long as you don't have commitments in the afternoon, but everyone in boarding school is either in art or music or sport, so you're always busy doing stuff. You rarely have just time to go. So usually weekends, and then I would say once every month and a half we would get to go home if you could go. I was an international student, so I would either go to friends' houses or family friends in the city in Toronto. Did you gain weight too? I gained 10 pounds. Yes, I gained and lost weight in school throughout my time there. Keep in mind, you're getting used to a completely different system of eating and working out and snacking, and it's just a whole new environment to get used to, and of course your weight's gonna fluctuate. Also, it's a time in your life when your body's changing. I think people put way too much stress on even with university, the whole freshman 15, that kind of happens in boarding school. So you kind of go through that as opposed to university. Just because the dining hall is literally a place where you socialize. That's what breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you go there to be social too. You're not just eating, but you end up snacking. And then there's nighttime snacks, and you're hanging out with friends, and there's snacks, but honestly, it's normal. It's normal to gain weight. It's normal maybe to lose a little bit of weight. Just know that eventually you'll get into a routine, you'll get into new habits, and it's not a big deal if you gain or lose a little bit of weight. A lot of people vape. To be 100% honest, 90% of my school vaped, I would say. It's just so ingrained in our society right now, with Juuls and vapes and everything, and it's such an easy thing to hide and teachers do try to like get kids to stop, and you're obviously not allowed to do it, but people do vape. I would say like 90% of people at my school vaped. Also, sorry, the lighting's gonna be changing. Like, what? Was your school co-ed or girls only? So I went to a co-ed school. I don't know if I could do only girls just because I am mostly friends with guys, and I can't imagine going to a school without guys. I know girls' schools though can be good. I have friends that have been to all girls schools and they loved it. Personally, for me, I don't think that would have worked out, but I think that's very personal. Did you get your phone taken away in school? I don't know if this is asking like, as in, did I get it taken away in class or like at night? There was like phone curfew for grades 9s and 10s at night. You had to hand in your phone. And then 11 and 12, you could keep your phone. What is your craziest memory from boarding school? Oh my gosh, okay, so this is one that I actually feel like I can talk about because it's something that everyone does in my school, so it's not like I'll get in trouble for saying this. But one of the traditions in school is you get, when you're in your last grade, so when you're in 12th grade, you get completely naked and run around the school at midnight. So I did this with my friends and it was so fun. Yeah, we snuck out, it was like 2 in the morning or 3, we snuck out completely naked, ran around the school. Basically, you leave a little surprise or gift at every dorm house. So yeah, that was definitely one of the craziest things I think I did in school, and it was so fun, and I would do it again. But the funny thing is, so the security guard at my school actually saw us, apparently, because we were really loud, I guess. So the next morning I was coming back from breakfast, walking to my dorm house, and like the vice principal of the school came up to me and he was like, hey, you know, the security guard heard you guys last night, but it was chill. Like, we didn't get in trouble because it's something that, again, people do, but you're not supposed to get caught. If you get caught, you get prom taken away. So yeah, we got caught but didn't really get caught. Is it cliquey? My school wasn't very cliquey at all. I don't think. I think there's definitely friend groups, but that's normal everywhere you go. Like, you're not gonna be best friends with everyone. But it wasn't cliquey in the sense of like people were rude or there were a bunch of small little groups. It was 3 or 4 big groups per grade that were just kind of like more friends, but it wasn't cliquey. No one was excluding anyone. It's not like the movie The Clique at all. Did you have chapel? I did have chapel. It wasn't a religious school, but we had chapel every morning just to kind of go over announcements and things like Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving, stuff like that. We had chapels and nice dinners, and we sang school hymns, but we weren't a religious school. Did you ever get in trouble for breaking dress code? I definitely got in trouble a couple times for just like not wearing the right uniform. So I was actually head student at my school, which means in your last year in grade 12, there's a boy and a girl that are heads of school. So basically they kind of help talk to the students. I don't know what the term is for head student in other schools. I think it's like student body president or whatever. But anyways, that was me alongside a friend of mine. So we were definitely representing the school, and so with that came the responsibility of dressing correctly. Not gonna lie, that wasn't always me. I was really bad for like having other stuff underneath or wearing the wrong sweaters, but for the most part, no.
What's on your head? Why is my bra on your head?
Was it hard to be around people every day? For me, personally, it was. I think that was definitely the biggest struggle for me, was being around people 24/7, just because I'm very about my own space. I like having privacy. I love being alone and not having people around, and when you're in boarding school, that is literally impossible. Just because you wake up and you have a roommate, and then you go to breakfast, and that's in the dining hall, and then you go to class, and that's with people, and then you have extracurriculars, and that's with people, and then you have study, and that's with people, and then you have night snack, and that's with people. So the whole day, you're with people 24/7. So for me, it was really important. I would just wander off, like I would ask for permission to go to town, and I would just go alone on walks and just take that time to be alone. I would hang out at the graveyard. I know that sounds so sketchy, but literally no one went there, and that was like the one place where I could get peace and quiet. So I would just go and hang out at the graveyard and read. which sounds so out of like the Vampire Diaries or some shit. What did you do on weekends? So weekends were completely different each of the years that I was at school. So grade 10, my weekends were pretty much going to the karaoke in town every single weekend and go get burgers or go to the movies. Grade 11 is when I started going out with my boyfriend, and then we would go on dates into town, we would go watch a movie, we would go get Thai food. We love our green curry. We went on double dates with other people, and then grade 12, that was really like a friend year for me. I was mostly just hanging out with friends and yeah, going to parties, going to friends' houses. Whenever we had a chance, we would go on breaks like to Toronto or to Montreal. So that is how we would fill up our time. One piece of advice for new boarders. So aside from like talking to people and going outside of your comfort zone, blah, 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 we all know those things, you know, whatever. Get to your dorm room early so you can pick your bed and your side of the room. I don't know if this is just like a me thing that I care, but like I care which bed I get. I want the window if I can get the window. So I didn't do this my first 2 years, but my third year I finally learned, and I was like, I'm gonna get to that room so fucking fast. I'm gonna pick my bed. So definitely get there early so you can pick your side of the room. So many people had questions about roommates and actually living with someone, and I completely get that. You're gonna be sharing a space with someone for like a year. You want it to be good, you want to get along with them. I personally had pretty good roommate experiences. Part of it is just luck, like honestly hoping you get someone good. Another aspect is my school was really good at placing usually roommates together. They have someone that specifically is assigned for that, and you fill out like a roommate questionnaire, at least I did, to see kind of what your habits are and make sure that they mesh with whoever they're gonna pair you with, so you don't have someone that like wakes up at 5 paired with someone that sleeps in till like 1 p.m. Aside from that, when it comes to little quirks and habits, definitely stuff can go wrong sometimes. I had a roommate that ate tuna in my room. There's usually gonna be something about the other person that you don't like, but like any friendship or relationship, just so it works out, I think the best is before you guys like jump into living together, just set up some ground rules. Like, okay, hey, just so we're on the same page about this, after 10 o'clock we should turn the lights out, you know, and like if you want to study, go into the study room. Or I wake up really early, so I was like, I won't make noise before like 7 o'clock in the morning, you know, like I'll be quiet, stuff like that. It's really a lot about communication and making sure that the things that really matter to you and that you know you will get irritated by are talked out before they actually happen. That's the best you can do. What's it like being in a relationship in boarding school? I mean, I'm still with my boyfriend that I started dating in 11th grade. They're good, but they also suck. It really depends. I know, for example, my best friend, she went to boarding school as well, and she dated a day student, so someone that didn't live in the boarding school but that went to boarding school. And that's great because you can leave school, you can go to their house, you can go on dates, they have a car sometimes. There's more freedom when you're dating a day student. It's hard, it's honestly hard. Definitely finding privacy is impossible, I'm just gonna say that. You have to be open to new environments. I mean, aside from that, I think a really big thing about being in a relationship, and always, but especially in boarding school, is being okay with telling the person like, I need my own space today, like I want to be alone. Because if not, you really see the person literally every day, which is never healthy. Like in any relationship, you don't want to spend 24/7 with someone. So that's definitely something to work on if you are in a relationship in boarding school. Did you ever get suspended? I never got suspended. I got in trouble once for not coming back on time, but I never really got in trouble, thankfully. And the whole thing about getting in trouble in boarding school, like, if you're getting in trouble, you're being stupid. So most probably you're gonna end up drinking or sneaking out or doing something at boarding school. That's just how it is. The most important thing is just being smart about it. Be smart with your sneakiness. There's definitely ways to have fun in boarding school that are breaking some rules, but still being smart, not potentially getting yourself kicked out of school because that would suck. You can have fun without going absolutely psycho. Save that like psycho energy for the weekends when you're not on campus. That's my biggest piece of advice. There's ways to have fun while still being sneaky and stuff without being crazy. Okay, so those were some of the questions I wanted to answer in this video, but if you guys have any more, definitely leave them down below or text me. You guys can always message me on Instagram too. I'm open. My DMs are always open. But yeah, I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!